Disclaimer: I'm simply discussing the recent Mark Laita and Tyler Oliveira situation, and giving my thoughts and opinions on the matter. I encourage you all to do your own research. This video is for people 18 plus only. This video was not intended to send hate towards any of the people mentioned. Do not send hate to anyone mentioned in this video or contact any of these people. This video was made for opinion and commentary purposes only. Oh boy, this one's going to be fun. Hi everyone, I wanted to make this video to address the recent Mark Laita aka soft white underbelly situation on YouTube going on with Tyler Oliveira and the Whitaker family, and express why Mark creeps me out. For those of you who don't know, there is a family called the Whitakers in the backwoods of West Virginia. The whole family is inbred to the point where they have difficulty taking care of themselves and are so poor they can hardly afford to. Tyler Oliveira has been getting a lot of hate because he called out a YouTuber by the name of Mark Laita, or as he's known on YouTube, soft white underbelly. To keep things brief, Mark interviewed the family and started a GoFundMe so that you could donate to them in the description of his video. He told everyone it was for the family to have a house. However, when Tyler visited them and had an interview of his own, he discovered the family's living conditions seemingly hadn't changed. Tyler Oliveira challenged Mark's honor in this video where he spoke with the Whitakers, while under the impression that Mark had no intention of ever buying the family a house, and was keeping the money for himself. Tyler also started a GoFundMe of his own for the Whitakers, and donated a good-sized chunk of his own money to it, and offered to combine it with Mark's to help pay for the house. Mark contended that he gave the Whitaker family the money over a duration of time in a response video to Tyler, and disclosed that the Whitakers had chosen to spend the money on the everyday needs of the family, instead of going towards a new house, and that Betty Whitaker's claims that she didn't know where the money had been were not true. Now soft white underbelly has cut off all connections with the family, shut down the GoFundMe he initially created for them, and from what it sounds like, in my subjective opinion, blamed Tyler for almost everything. Now, I will not be talking about the Whitaker family and Tyler Oliveira situation as much in this video as I will be about Mark Laita, the allegations against Mark, and why I will not be supporting him or his YouTube channel. I will also be talking about the response video Oompaville made on YouTube to this, and why I believe he should have done a lot more digging before he defended Mark in his recent video covering the predicament. Another main reason I decided to make this video is that for some reason when I try to respond to comments on both Tyler Oliveira's video and Oompaville's video on YouTube, my comments keep getting deleted. For some strange reason. I'm not entirely sure if it's YouTube itself deleting them, the channel's creators, or people are just reporting them repeatedly to get them deleted, but can't be 100% certain. First, I'll be addressing Tyler's video and my thoughts on it. My mum and I only recently discovered some of Tyler's videos and watch them from time to time. We're newer subscribers to his channel. I would have never known about any of this, Mark Laita, or any sort of scandals if we had never watched Tyler's video about West Virginia. From what I've seen thus far, while Tyler's videos can be outlandish at times, I do believe some of them provide interesting insights from various perspectives while being somewhat clickbait. For instance, some of his videos about the homeless, the Mexican border, or cities with very high drug trafficking rates, as well as criminal activity, provide very interesting insights into some current predicaments going on in the United States, in my own opinion. But I can understand why someone might not be interested in Tyler's style of content. Now, Tyler Oliveira asked Mark an extremely simple question about where the money was going. While he may not have asked this question as nicely as some people might have preferred, you still have to remember that Tyler was reasonably under the impression that soft white underbelly was lying about where the funds were going. When you see how the Whitakers are still living despite Mark's GoFundMe that has already reached beyond its original goal, be honest with yourselves. Can you really blame him? Tyler also added $10,000 of his own money to the fund that he created for the Whitaker family and offered to provide receipts, as well as updates as to where the money is being spent. Mark did have the right to deny giving Tyler his contact information. However, Tyler likewise had the right to question Mark's motives, coupled with good reason to do so. This is why I don't understand the hate towards Tyler Oliveira here. I will talk more about Mark's somewhat strange response to Tyler's video later. Tyler could have seen Mark's videos and decided to investigate further or learn about the Whitakers because of how well known the family was for inbreeding in West Virginia, which was related to the topic Tyler Oliveira was covering. Regardless of intent, this has caused his channel to receive massive amounts of hate, and I'd like to help clear some things up. Next, I'm going to address the video Oompaville made about Tyler Oliveira. Most likely he didn't have any outright bad intentions with the video he made in response to all of this. However, I don't believe Oompaville did enough research about Mark Laita's channel Soft White Underbelly before making it. This has now inevitably brought more unnecessary amounts of hate to Tyler and his channel. So I'd like to express some of my thoughts on Oompaville's video. I do agree with Oompaville's point that the Whitakers need someone, preferably a more practical adult, to help manage their finances.
Financial guard, they need a wealth manager. They need a JP Morgan hookup is what they really need. A CPA, a CFO, somebody.
Oompa mentions that Mark has stated that his contract with the Whitakers was completely fake, but to be quite frank with you, I find that hard to believe. Sort of like Mark's stated brush with death, after he was bitten by one of the world's most lethal poisonous snakes, the black mamba.
Bring out the black mamba.
In his picture book titled The Serpentine, published in 2013. If you do your research, you will discover that left untreated the black mamba fatality rate is 100%. If bitten by one, it will shut down your nervous system and paralyze you in under only 45 minutes. After that, death can happen anywhere between an hour and 15 hours. Allegedly, Mark, the boy who lived, survived this deadly venomous snake bite, with nothing more than a bruise and some blood gushing down his leg. His only response to being bitten by the creature is F. The only logical way Mark could have survived this was if the snake had done what's known as a dry bite, which virtually has zero chances of happening because it's extremely rare, while still possible. But no, the snake must have injected its venom into Mark. Mark is clearly Superman incarnate or something, and we're all expected to believe it. So back to the subject of Oompa's video. It seemed to me he didn't make very many solid points against Tyler, but mostly just brought up the goofier videos Tyler Oliveira has made before, to compare them to the videos on the Soft White Underbelly channel, to prove Tyler's content was non-educational, compared to Mark's. He used the aliens built the pyramids video and the I flew the Ender Dragon across the United States one as examples. Alright then, if that's the case, how much more educational do these videos sound in your sentiment? Hearing pimps talk about how much money they make on average, or listening to people discuss their weird fetishes, with an explanation of how they got them.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the f***?
That's not unusual and repulsive content at all, or maybe even his interview with an alleged rapist.
What? What the fuck?
Yes. Obviously this is far more riveting content. I think I'd much rather prefer to listen to the brain rot and annoying dribble of one of those obnoxious YouTube Kids channels. On the subject of brain-dead YouTube Kids farming content, he also brought up Tyler's most recent trivial YouTube drama with Brent Rivera as one of his talking points. I personally don't even consider this evidence against Tyler at all, since it seems to me Brent's had drama with every YouTuber on the face of God's green earth by now, which even Oompaville himself has admitted before how creepy Brent Rivera is. So I won't consider this as evidence against Tyler. All in all, I think Oompaville has made a terrible mistake by defending Mark in this particular circumstance, without entirely realizing that he has just unwittingly opened Pandora's box. So now that I've voiced my thoughts about Tyler's dilemma and Oompa's video, I'll finally give my opinions about Mark Laita, or Soft White Underbelly as he's known on YouTube, and explain the allegations against him and why he disgusts me so much. The first thing I'd like to address is why exactly did Mark feel no need to update the people who were donating money to build the Whitaker's house? Regardless of the family's decision to take the money out and use it on grocery store visits or their own needs like Mark claims. Why not simply, I don't know, tell people that? Most people prefer to know where their hard-earned money is, and to whom their money is going to. That shouldn't come as a big surprise to anyone, especially when said money is donated out of the kindness of their hearts. Mark should have informed people that the money being donated to the GoFundMe he set up was being used on grocery store visits or whatever, and the Whitakers had chosen to take it all out instead of building a house. I also find it hilarious how irritated Mark gets over simply being asked about the money. Furthermore, let's not forget Mark's questionable connections with some shady people. For starters, let's discuss the massive amount of pimps he's featured on his channel. It does make me wonder about how he manages to get in touch with all of them. Such a massive amount of the worst, most deplorable people society has to offer to interview.
Came back from Memphis, I was getting phone calls from pimps and prostitutes for months, every morning.
You make the money and you bring me all of it, and I decide on how we chop it up and how we make it happen.
These are my girls right here. Like, we always used to kind of joke about it, like, oh, we could do this to get some money.
You guys were in the streets before this happened?
Yeah. I mean, we're actually we're homeless.
Yeah. Ashley and Crystal, were you working as workers at all before the...
Before we met him?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I
got a couple questions for you, Mark. Let's get into it.
What do you want to know?
You say you be out on Figueroa late at night. Have you ever paid one of them out there for sex?
No, I have not.
You've never paid for sex, not one time? Never, not one time out on Figueroa?
Never. No, I mean, I look like it because I'm picking girls up on the street and I'm driving them away and I bring them over here. And there's no bed here, but I bring them back, and I don't know what that looks like, but I know what it is.
Yeah, you know what it is, but ain't it always what it looks like? Ain't that what they care about? It's always what it looks like. Shit, they care about what this looks like right now.
Yeah.
But Mark is such a good guy.
I like blondes, but not with beards.
How dare you?
You're very handsome.
Buy me a razor, daddy.
We're gonna have to get into the whole Rebecca story in another video. Cause to be honest, it's like a whole rabbit hole in and of itself.
Let me in. Open it. Unlock the car, babe. Honestly, Mark, I feel like we're being next to a couple, you know.
I'm sorry?
I'll be your beard. You want me to be the next to a couple? I think I'm the a couple of Skid Row, you know.
You're talking so fast, I can barely understand you.
I think we're the a couple of Skid Row. You're the sugar daddy. I'm the
I am your sugar daddy. I am your sugar daddy.
I'm your sugar daddy. I'm the performer. What? I'm your slave.
While we're at it, let's also discuss how Mark defended his position in a different interview, after posting a video of himself talking about sexual activities with a completely exposed 13-year-old girl in a transparent bikini.
December 7th, 2023, Mark Laita posted a video on his channel, and the video was of a naked, uncensored child. The child was introduced to the audience as Nova. Believe it or not, Mark didn't just stop there. He conversed one-on-one with this child about sex work and other things, and there appeared to be no parent or guardian there with Nova.
Have you've been working some of the streets as a prostitute? How long has that been going on?
Since May.
Since May?
Yeah.
Is it a horrifying life for a 13-year-old girl?
Yeah. Every time, like before I go to the blade or anything, like my stomach, it'll feel like I'm finna throw up, like, or I gotta use the bathroom. It's just.
Do these men know you're 13?
In the interview, Mark allowed this child to advertise her illegal services and even encouraged her to disclose where potential assailants and predators could locate her to take advantage of her even more than the sickos in her life already had.
How did you get introduced to that? At 13?
She texted me at like 3 o'clock in the morning and was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." Laying down. I'm like, "What you doing?" She like, "I'm out trapping." And I'm like, "Trapping?" She sent the picture and I'm like, "You do that now?" And she like, "Yeah, it's fast money. You should do it with me." I told my mom, I'm like, "I'm about to go do a TikTok downstairs." And she was like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Can I do a TikTok in your car?" She gave me the keys. I put the keys next to the door and I ran away. I went and I got in the car and she was with this tattoos all over his face. He was playing music. He looked like a gangbanger. He was a gangbanger. He was a pimp. And I didn't even know that he was a pimp. So we had went to the Crenshaw Mall.
So your mom, just for those that are not aware, your mom was working as a prostitute as well?
I don't know.
That's what she told me in that interview that she did with me.
She told you that?
Yeah.
I seen a video of my mom on Fig, but I don't know if it's true. I hope it's not true. But it looked like she was on Fig. She said that she was walking from a club, but she doesn't go to clubs. And I heard in the past, like when I was like 5 and 6 and stuff, they used to tell me like, oh, your mom is getting money from dudes. And I'm like, maybe they're just friends, but so sometimes I think, yes, she is a prostitute, but sometimes I think, no, she's not, because she has 3 babies to worry about at home. You feel me?
In my opinion, it was an advertisement advocating for normalizing and encouraging child. Truly nothing is sacred to the likes of Mark Laita. See, a huge issue that the audience took with the initial video was that Mark took no efforts to censor the child's exposed chest. In the video, the child is wearing a completely see-through top, like there was absolutely no mistaking the child's entire anatomy. So when taken together with the full context of the video, like the fact that they were discussing sexual activities and services, advertising the exact location and types of illegal services that the child was being subjected to, even Mark Laita's audience simply couldn't just tolerate that this was art. The comment section blew up entirely. And from time to time, when Mark shits the bed like this, he'll delete a whole video. The man's extraordinarily fragile ego can simply not tolerate even the smallest inkling of criticism. So he did end up doing the right thing, in my opinion, by taking down that uncensored video. Unfortunately, he re-uploaded the disgusting video to his channel again, partially censoring out the child's areolas. Another issue that his audience took with the video was that the child had said her mother had lost legal custody or guardianship over her some months or years prior.
So you're supposed to be staying with your mom?
Yeah, but she kicked me out in December last year.
You just got kicked out on this show. Steve, I'm gonna keep pushing.
But you told me out there that you're in the system?
Yeah, I'm in the system. Nobody has custody of me.
No one has custody of you?
My mama lost custody of me like 2 years ago because when she was abusing me and stuff, yeah.
So technically speaking, it was unclear who, if anyone, actually gave legal consent for Mark to air this video, publish the video, take the video even.
She called me and I'm like, oh babe, the soft white underbelly video is out. She like, Mom, what? I'm like, yeah. She like, so you gave consent to him? I said, yeah, you did the video. She like, so you gave him consent? I'm like, yeah. She like, did you see it? I said, yep.
Speaking of legalities, the California Penal Code 311.10 makes it a crime to advertise, sell, or distribute child pornography. This includes transporting, producing, possessing, or duplicating any of this type of material. It's a crime to share child porn. It's a crime to hire, employ, use, persuade, or participate in the production of this type of abusive material. And it is a crime to advertise, sell, or distribute it. Mark had taken issue in the original video with people being upset about his actions. He basically said that anyone upset with this video just has too good of a life. This conclusion obviously and of course failed to consider that maybe people just have a soul and a conscience and feel bad for the child he was exploiting. But as usual, and coming as a surprise absolutely not to me, Mark took it a step further yet again by letting us all know that this wasn't even the worst of the materials. Oh no. He actually said, he said that there was much more, quote, salacious material that he had saved for his more depraved audience who likes to see the worst of the worst. This segment of his audience pays a monthly subscription fee for this content. Salacious, just to remind you, is a word that specifically refers to sexual content. So Mark admitted to producing sexual content of this child and was offering it for sale to any predator on the internet that would like to see that type of content.
You just have to pay the $10 tier. That's what it is. If you want to see child, that's what you have to do. You just pay the $10. That's all you have to do.
Again, it's unclear who, if anyone, could legally consent to him even interviewing the child in the first place. So that happened, and then I guess to atone himself of the guilt, Mark decided to have the child's mother on the channel as well. Innocent until proven guilty. And I'm not a prosecutor, so I guess they'll just have to let the cards fall where they may with that. Now, for Mark himself, he has come out and spoken in his own defense, and that leads us to the next subject of this video. Not long after the whole alleged alleged child bleep fiasco wherein Mark Laita is selling salacious sexual materials of a child on his private website, he spoke about the issue with another repeat subject on his channel. In this interview, Mark, a reptilian clown with no soul or conscience, attempted to defend his actions of posting himself discussing sexual acts with a naked child. He implies that critics of this deranged lunacy were crazy and just too soft, and he made up an unbelievable excuse that he, quote, didn't see the naked child because he didn't see or notice that the naked child was indeed naked because he's, quote, not a tits man. I don't know, I'll put in the clip what he actually said here. It was freaking deranged.
Your nipples are showing. You're gonna get in trouble.
Sorry. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Like I got in trouble.
But I don't have tits. I'm a dude. I'm a man. I like to eat.
Isn't that weird that
I'm not stoned.
I did a video of a 13-year-old prostitute, and she had a bikini top that I wasn't even aware that you could see through it.
Oh really?
Like I'm not a breast man, so I'm not really looking at her breasts. But
what do you like in a woman's body?
The shape of her waist and hips and all that.
Yeah.
Legs.
So you like more like curved kind of.
Long.
Curved, like something you can grab on.
Tall and thin with nice curves.
Tall and thin but nice curves, yeah. Which is not the easiest mix to get.
No, it's hard.
It's really. Let's say on that total there.
So basically, because his sexual proclivities are more susceptible to thighs and ass, he would have been more focused on those areas of the child rather than her obviously exposed breasts.
But Mark is such a stand-up guy. According to people, he responded to his critics by claiming they were just soft, or crazy, and continued to blame the child, the mother, and even his own audience. But the living mannequin is the best thing to ever happen to YouTube's platform. Right. My question is why? Why do people continue to act as though being interviewed by this rip-off Ken doll is the best thing that's ever happened to any of these people? Defending this guy in my opinion is nothing less than sheer delusion.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness? Do you think you do?
And a willing ignorance of his repulsive actions. And if you realize this and continue to defend Mark and his channel, you're no better than Mark himself. Lastly, I've seen many people debate what sort of channel Soft White Underbelly is. Some people claim that it's all some kind of social experiment, while others claim it's an artistic tribute to the soft white underbelly of America. But with all these questionable videos of people in less than ideal circumstances, I can't help but feel like this is all just one big poverty corn channel. I would highly recommend checking out BJ Investigates videos about Mark Laita and Soft White Underbelly. She is the reason I found most of my information about Mark Laita. Also check out Tyler Oliveira's video about the Whitakers and West Virginia, if you haven't checked them out already. I will leave the links in the description, as well as Oompa's video, so you can all watch and decide for yourselves.